I am Eliza Caitlin V. Makiling.
I'm Guazalo A. Monton.
I'm Clarice P. Mangiar.
I'm Rohana Marie M. Nario.
I am Sharon May Pino.
I'm Arlen Ken Jennifer I. Poliano.
I'm Kisha Rose Choi Matugas.
And I'm the group's leader, Kizea Ann Palyasa, and we are from Group 4. In this video, we're going to present and explain two different caricatures addressing the urgent issues inherent in today's phenomena in the Philippines.
Our first caricature is entitled A Bittersweetness Filipino Sacrifice of Heritage for Foreign Approval. We have chosen this topic as our caricature since it is not widely known and is not talked about much more than any other issues in the Philippines. We plan to talk about this in order to be the voice of Filipinos whose voices were never heard. So, we are here as your presenters and as your role models to have courage and be brave to speak up, because you may not know yet a person hears you, and those persons are me and my group mates. This topic we are opening up is all about how we Filipinos were not able to properly preserve our very own surroundings, tourist spots, and nature itself. Filipinos have their own way of making a place or a tourist destination as beautiful as in other countries, in order to prove that the Philippines have all those natural built of beauty. Filipinos have been spending most of their time to find ways to attract foreigners from every different countries, to pay a visit or plan a staycation in some famous recent getaways such as in Siargao, Enchanted River, Puting Bato in Cabadbaran, and Bukas de Grande in Surigao. Sometimes all we can see is a beauty, but we cannot see and choose not to see the disaster it brings. As we can see in our caricature, the foreign baby is spoon-fed by Juan de la Cruz and is fed with hospitality. Now, let's dig into some tiny details. We can observe that the baby is holding a toy island of the Philippines, and since the baby is happy being spoon-fed, the baby is not able to see that he is slowly destroying his toy. This means that the Philippines is slowly getting destroyed, since Filipinos are hospitable and are very much more likely to give what they have than to see if they have something left for themselves. The caricature seems to convey a message about the potential negative consequences of excessive hospitality or dependency on foreign aid and the assistance in Philippines. The image of a foreigner baby being spoon-fed with hospitality by Filipinos may symbolize the idea of the country being overly accommodating or generous to outsiders, possibly at the expense of its own resources or environment. The notion of the destruction of the land could imply that this excessive hospitality or dependence on foreign assistance may lead to environmental degradation or exploitation of natural resources. It might suggest that the act of accommodating outsiders without proper consideration or balance could have detrimental effects on the country's ecosystem, contributing to issues like deforestation, pollution, or overuse of land.
With tourism growing exponentially and far-flung exotic destinations become easily accessible, it's hard to see the devastating impact tourists can have on an area. But exactly, what impact on the environment are tourists having? And is it even possible to control tourism for the sake of the environment in such a monetary-driven society? Tourism can have a significant impact on a country, both economically and environmentally. In the case of Boracay, a popular tourist destination in the Philippines, tourism has brought economic growth, job opportunities, and improved infrastructures to the local community. However, rapid and uncontrolled tourism development has also led to environmental degradation, overcrowding, waste management issues, and damage to the island's ecosystems.
The focus on providing for the tourist's immediate needs becomes a metaphorical blindfold, as the Filipino figure appears to be oblivious to the deteriorating state of local tourist spot and the surrounding nature. It speaks to the tendency to prioritize short-term gains, such as economic benefits from tourism, while neglecting the long-term consequences of environmental degradation and cultural erosion. The image serves as a social commentary on the potential pitfalls of unbridled tourism and the imperative needs to balance the economic advantages with responsible stewardship of natural and cultural resources. For example, as our beautiful nation experiences an upsurge in tourism, this comes to pressing concern of the uncontrolled growth, as highlighted by the ADB. This phenomenon not only jeopardizes the integrity of our cherished tourist spot, but also poses threats to the surrounding environment and the very nature we aim to showcase. It prompts viewers to reflect on the importance of fostering sustainable practices that not only benefits the present, but also preserve the beauty and the integrity of the tourist destination for future generations.
When lots of tourists or foreigners visit in the Philippines, things get expensive for local Filipinos. Shops start selling more to tourists than locals, and locals might have to pay higher taxes for tourist facilities. Second homes in popular areas make housing prices rise, making it tough for locals to buy homes. In some places, locals are forced to relocate to make room for tourism development, and seasonal unemployment is a big issue in many tourist areas. Efforts are being made to attract visitors year-round to reduce the impact of seasonal job loss. Sometimes, locals feel their community is being taken over by the tourists, leading to resentment. As we can see, it has really made a huge impact on us Filipinos, be economically, environmentally, and politically speaking. My groupmates and I hope that this would serve as an eye-opener to the community and as a spread the news to those who don't have any idea about this issue. We should address this and let our voices be heard.
Our caricature entitled Firearms in Unqualified Hands vividly portrays the contentious issues surrounding the Philippine National Police allowing civilians to purchase semi-automatic firearms. The scene depicts a group of civilians, their face etched with a mix of urgency and determination, gathered around a salesperson. What makes this scene striking is that the salesperson is not just any vendor, but an officer from the Philippine National Police, the very entity responsible for maintaining law and order. This depiction symbolizes the direct involvement of law enforcement in the process of civilians acquiring these powerful weapons. The civilians' eagerness to purchase firearms is a poignant commentary on the perceived need for self-defense, or perhaps a deeper social commentary on the state of security in the Philippines. Through this caricature, this prompts us to consider the complexities and potential consequences of this policy decision. It raises questions about the role of law enforcement in regulating firearm access, the impact of public safety, and the underlying factors driving civilians to seek such means of protection. On a press conference on Monday, March 4, 2024, Philippine National Police Chief of the Public Information Office, Colonel Jean Fajardo, said that the amendment that allows civilians to own and possess firearms not more than 7.62 mm.
This sparked a heated debate. Though the thought of owning firearms has advantages such as enhancement of self-defense and protecting their families against potential threats, people still worrying that legalizing civilian gun ownership could lead to a Wild West situation, where civilians with powerful weapons might overpower the police, causing more dangerous situation and endangering public safety. PNP spokesperson Colonel Fajardo also shared that the intention really here is we also want to advocate responsible gun ownership in the decision to amend the implementing rules and regulations so that people who have this kind of firearms would secure a license to own and possess firearms and have this gun registered, assuring to guarantee that these firearms would not fall to the wrong hands.
Nagkaroon po ng pag-aaral, we created technical working group to study the possibility of amending some of the provisions at inherent po sa function and authority po ng ating Chief PNP. So nagkaroon po ng a minor amendment po doon po sa implementing rules and guidelines po ng IRR. Sa ngayon po, yung mga private citizens po na nagmamay-ari po ng rifle, particularly yung 7.62 pababa po, Napag-usapan po yan because bago po na ipasa po yung Republic Act 10591 ay allowed po ang civilian na magmay-ari po ng rifle, but upon the passage po ng 10591 ay hindi na po pwedeng magmay-ari po ng rifle ang sino mga civilian, at kung hindi na rin po nila ito po pwedeng ibenta, but po pwede po nila itong ipalisensya. Ang sinasabi po natin dyan, kung ang isang responsableng individual ay more than willing to register yung firearms at kukuha po ng license to own and possess firearms at license to register those particular firearms, so he is and they are willing to be regulated under the laws.
We were supposed to rely on the PNPs for our safety, knowing that this was their intention. We, citizens, feel doubt and fears that the PNPs whom we entrust our safety to causes future crimes and violence due to implementing this law. Implementing rules and regulation about gun ownership and even requiring the license to possess firearms won't change the fact that we are in deep worry for our safety. Avoiding physical beating has already reached its complexity. How much more with a stray of bullet?
Why is it that in the most prominent issues such as theft, rape, and physical injury that were continuously occurring regularly according to a research by Statista Research Department in December 2023, would this law be first noticed and taken into action? Why not focus more on those issues that are really supposed to be taken care of? This move of the PNP is so unnecessary that Filipinos from all ages would grow with fear buried in their hearts and minds. Just like we said earlier, lisod man gani mulikay og kulata, unsa na lang kaha sa ligaw na bala. Overall, this caricature serves as a thought-provoking commentary on a pressing social issue, urging our viewers to contemplate the implications of civilian access to semi-automatic firearms in the Philippines.
To wrap things up, legalizing guns can lead to a surge in gun-related violence, including homicides, accidents, and suicides. More guns in circulation can undermine efforts to maintain public security and stability, making law enforcement more challenging. The easy access to guns can escalate minor disputes into deadly confrontations, contributing to a culture of violence and vigilantism. Gun violence can result in significant economic losses due to medical expenses, lost productivity, and decreased tourism or investment. While on the other hand, balancing the economic benefits of tourism with environmental conservation is vital. Responsible tourism practices such as eco-tourism initiatives, community-based tourism, and regulations to minimize environmental degradation from tourism activities are essential for long-term sustainability. Relying too heavily on foreign aid can create economic dependency, undermining domestic industries and self-sustainability efforts. To address these concerns, it's essential for Philippines to pursue a balanced approach to aid, focusing on sustainability development, capacity building, and preserving national sovereignty while leveraging foreign assistance to address specific needs and gaps in resources. This involves careful planning, transparent governance, and active engagement with international partners to ensure that aid aligns with the country's long-term development goals and priorities. This is Group 4 presenting our caricatures of firearms in unqualified hands and a bittersweetness Filipino sacrifice of heritage for foreign approval.